I'd come home, drop my bag and tell myself I'll just do something productive tonight. And suddenly it's 10 and I've done nothing. And what's weird is that I don't know what I should do. I know exactly what I should do that would move my life forward. Going to the gym, doing that one project, read instead of scroll on my phone. And sometimes I do this for 1 week or maybe 2 weeks and then fall back again to the old habits. And for the longest time I keep asking myself this question. If I know what to do and I want to do it, why then do I keep acting like the old version of me? And my days actually look like the same from the outside. I wake up, I'm still tired, I go to work, I come home around 6. That's just a normal life. And the interesting part is what happens between 6 and 10. And that block of time then feels like where my life should actually change. But most of the nights it just doesn't. I tell myself over and over again, tonight I will start doing the gym consistently, starting that one thing I've been talking about, and then I sit down just for a second and my hand automatically grabs my phone. By the time I look up, my brain is tired and my body feels heavy and I'm like, okay, I do it tomorrow then. So I go to sleep feeling frustrated and waking up feeling I'm behind of everyone. And you probably know that cycle. You get hit by a random motivation. Maybe you see a video that motivates you or someone's progress and you feel that little fire inside yourself. So you make a plan. You write everything down. New schedule, new habits, new version of you. And for a few days, maybe even for a few weeks, you actually stick to it. You feel like, okay, this time is different. I finally figured it out. And then one night you tried, you skip one thing, then you skip another thing. And before you know it, you're back to your old routine. Same scrolling, same junk food, same late night guilt. And that's the part that really hurts. And not just that you stopped, but that sinking feeling of I did it again, I can't trust myself anymore. And for a long time I thought that motivation was the problem. And I thought if I could just stay motivated for long enough, I'd be unstoppable. So I tried to hack it. Motivation videos, quotes on the wall, hype music before gym, and it worked, but only for a short period of time. And then the highs got shorter, the crash stayed the same, and at some point I'd notice something uncomfortable. It's not that I don't know what to do, and it's not that I don't care about my life. It's that deep down I still see myself as the person who procrastinates. Like I can force myself to act like a motivational and disciplined person for a while, but when I'm tired, when nobody is watching, my brain just automatically defaults to the identity I believe in. I'm the guy who starts strong and then disappears. And motivation can't beat me, because eventually you always come back to who think you are. Just think about for how many times you tell yourself this story over and over again. I am just not a morning person. I'm not consistent. I always mess up things after a few weeks. And you just say it like it's a fact. But really, this is not a fact. It's evidence you collected and then turned into your identity. So every time you skip the gym, every time you stayed on scrolling over and over again, every deadline you left until the last minute, so your brain automatically writes it down as proof who you really are. And when you finally try to change, you're not just fighting your habits, you're fighting also an image of yourself that has been built over years. And that's why it feels so heavy, because there's a part of you that wants to change and another part that's like, no, that's not who we are, stop pretending. And for a long time this held me back. And what really helped me is seeing this as an identity lag. So your actions try to move forward, but your identity is still stuck in the past. So you have this weird gap in between. So you do disciplined things for a while, but it feels fake and almost like you're acting or something. So you go to the gym and your brain is like, look at us, he's trying to be that guy. Or you work on a project and your brain goes like, do you remember when you quit last time? This won't last forever. And because that old identity has way more evidence, it always wins. So the question isn't here, how do I just stop procrastinating? It becomes, how do I give my brain new evidence that this is the new me? And what I realized over the past is that your identity doesn't change because you decided in your head. It changes when your action give it no choice. So if every evening I tell myself I'm that kind of person who takes care of my body, but then I eat junk food and scroll on my phone, my brain will automatically believe my actions and not my words. So I stop to ask, what do I feel like doing? Because the answer is always nothing hard. Instead, I started to ask myself, what would the person I'm trying to become do in the next few minutes? And not forever, not for a whole lifetime. You don't want to change your whole life in one click, just for that moment, just for the next 10 minutes, for example, and just do that. And even if it's small, or even if it feels stupid, and for me, it started with very small things, and not some perfect morning routine or something else, just one tiny thing that I can repeat in the evening over and over again. Like I told myself, I'm the kind of person who don't let the night disappear. So I'd come home, eat something, and instead of dropping onto the couch, I do something for 10 minutes that the future me would be proud of. 10 minutes of doing a quick workout at home. 10 minutes of reading instead of scrolling. Or maybe 10 minutes of working on that project just for 10 minutes. And I know it didn't feel like life-changing for these 10 minutes. And if I'm being honest, most of the time it felt useless. Like, what are these 10 minutes even gonna change in my life? But that wasn't the point. The point was to be able to give my brain new evidence, to be able to say, no, we showed up even when we are tired, even when it's just small. And once that tiny things started up adding up, the story in my head slowly began to change. And the biggest shift was how I saw the relapse. Before, if I missed a day or had a bad week, I'd make it mean something about who I am. See? I knew it. I'm not that guy. I'm still the same. But now I see it differently. If I ever fall back into my old habits, I don't treat it like proof that nothing even changed. I treat it like that old identity trying to pull me back. Almost like, oh, there you are again. I knew it. But we're not going to do this forever this time. So instead of throwing everything away, I just try to collect one more tiny evidence today. One small action that aligns with who I want to become and not who I've been. And it's less dramatic, I know. It's less all or nothing, but this is actually sustainable. So when people talk about discipline, it sounds like a thing you either have or you don't. But I don't think that this is true. I think that discipline is just an identity backed on evidence. If you spend years of proving to yourself that you avoid discomfort, of course it feels impossible to change. But if you spend weeks or months or trying to prove yourself that you can show up just a little or a tiny bit, your brain eventually updates your story. You stop being that person who always falls off and start becoming the person who sometimes falls off but always comes back. And from there on, showing up stop feeling like a performance. It start feeling like something normal you do. So if you're stuck in that cycle, getting motivated, making progress and then falling off again, you're not broken and you're not lazy. And what's really happening is that your identity and your action are out of sync. So they're not aligned, they're out of sync. So you try live like the future you, but still act like the past you. So if this hits something in you and you want to start to work on your identity shift, stick around with me because we are here to learn everything together. As for that, thanks for watching and we'll see us next week.